Welcome back to 9 Days Till the Mighty Nein. We have covered a lot of this crew with Ford, Jester, Bo, Caleb, Knot, and Mollymauk, but we have got one more to bring in today. It's everyone's favorite Asamar Barbarian, Yasha Naidor. Yasha is played by Ashley Johnson. And before we get into the backstory of this character, there's a little bit of backstory of Ashley playing this character that I want to touch on. So Yasha is probably the character I am most intrigued to see how they adapt in Mighty Nein because, as many long-term Critical Role fans know, during Campaign 1 and 2, Ashley was on a show called Blindspot, which filmed in New York, which meant she flew back and forth between New York and Los Angeles as often as possible to still be a part of Critical Role and those storylines. With Campaign 1, Pike, this meant for Legend of Vox Machina that they brought Pike into storylines she wasn't a part of and even gave her a bit of a side quest when possible. So we saw aspects of Pike that we didn't get to see during the live stream. Now, it seems like that's going to be a little bit different with Yasha. Ashley has kind of pointed out how it was tricky for Matt, even as he did attempt to build into the character the ability to disappear here and there when Ashley couldn't be there and still make it make sense with the story. But she has said that it's actually better in the show. Travis has also teased that they're able to focus on aspects of Yasha's character from before the stream that we didn't fully get into during the campaign. Now, I, as someone who's watched all of Campaign 2, have a little bit of an idea of what that might mean, but there's a lot of possibilities because there's quite a bit of Yasha's backstory that still remains a mystery. So, before we fully get into what I think we can talk about from Yasha's backstory without having any spoilers, I want to do a quick disclaimer, as I have with all previous videos. My name is Caitlin Tyrrell. I am one of the resident critters at Temple of Geek. I am a huge Campaign 2 fan. That's what actually got me into Critical Role, and I've watched all of Campaign 2. Now, I know a lot of folks who are tuning into Mighty Nein haven't done that. They've maybe found Critical Role after Campaign 2 or through Legend of Vox Machina, or just seeing the trailer for Mighty Nein and thinking it looked wicked cool and wanted to check it out. So, please follow my lead if you are like me and have watched all of Campaign 2, and don't put any spoilers in the comments. You can hit me up on social media and talk spoilers all day long. That's fine. Not here. We want this to be as exciting and surprising and full of twists as it was during our first watch through for all the new fans. So, let's get into what we can with Yasha's backstory. Yasha is an Asamar Barbarian. What that means for the Barbarian is, well, you've actually seen a Barbarian already if you watched Legend of Vox Machina, because Grog is Barbarian. I'd say Yasha's smarter. Grog's got that intelligence of 6 rolling for him, and Yasha's, I think, a bit smarter than that. Now, as an Asamar, the only really important detail you need to know, especially if you don't play D&D, is that she has celestial blood. That's the only aspect you need to know about her Asamar heritage at this time. There might be something that comes into play down the road, but that's kind of the big piece. So, she actually grew up in South Jorhos, which we haven't seen or talked about Jorhos at this point, because so far all of our other Mighty Nein members have either been from the Dwendalian Empire or the Menagerie Coast. We'll talk more about Jorhos very soon, but I don't want to fully get into it right now. She grew up a part of the Dolorov tribe, who raised her after they found her. And she was raised kind of by the leader of that tribe to be a weapon. She was given the name Orphan Maker, and very, very vicious, impressive fighter, able to kill when needed. I'm going to say easily as in like physically easily, not necessarily emotionally easily. Because one of the things I really appreciate about Yasha is, although she is a very intense, very terrifying fighter, she's also a very sensitive soul. Now, that sensitive soul has gotten her into trouble before. Part of her tribe's customs were you were essentially assigned a betrothed. It wasn't something where you fell in love. It was more, this is your mate, this is who you're betrothed to, and you had to follow that system. Yasha, however, fell in love, a forbidden love. And through that, she was able to find happiness, even if momentarily. But alas, like all of our other Mighty Nein members, that couldn't last. And tragedy struck. She was forced to flee, and her love was lost. So, from there, there's a lot of Yasha's history that kind of remains a mystery. It was a gap for her, and it's something that I think we're going to explore a lot of in Mighty Nein, because we didn't get to explore it nearly as much as I think they would have hoped to in Campaign 2. So what I'm going to talk about here, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to see it play out in Mighty Nein, but I think it's an important thing to know going in for potentially what we could see with Yasha. Yasha was a worshiper of the Stormlord, which is one of the gods that we saw a little bit in Vox Machina, but hadn't fully fleshed out with followers, because the really big god that we see followed by any of the Legend Vox Machina members are the Raven Queen and then the Everlit. So with this, Yasha's a follower of the Stormlord, but the thing that is important about when we meet Yasha in Campaign 2 is she's very good friends with Mollymauk, because she's also a part of the Carnival. I don't know if that's what we're going to see in Mighty Nein. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it's different, but I really hope that we do see the relationship between Mollymauk and Yasha either have it be developed on screen, like it seems like we're going to see with a lot of the other characters, because we're meeting them as individuals, or something where they do have a history and they are friends and part of the Carnival when we meet them. We aren't sure at this point, but just based on that little bit that we've had teased by Travis and Ashley, it seems like we're going to have a really, really different story arc for Yasha. I'm very excited to see how it plays out. So I've talked about it a little bit already, but I would say Yasha is one of the most impressive fighters of the group, but she's also extremely sensitive. She has had a lot of tragedy and trauma, and similar to Caleb, she pushes it down and hides it. But she's also someone who very quietly cares for the people important to her. So it'll be fun to see how that plays out in Mighty Nein. We're only days away from Mighty Nein, and I cannot wait. If you want to know more about the rest of the Mighty Nein crew, be sure to check out our other videos from this 9 Days Till the Mighty Nein series. If you want to see more Critical Role content, we've got tons of interviews and articles that are all worth a watch and a read. If you're into all sorts of other fun, nerdy topics like Doctor Who and Marvel and all that craziness, be sure to check out Temple of Geek for all your geeky, nerdy entertainment news. Please give this video a like and subscribe to make sure you find it again so that you can see tomorrow's episode of 9 Days Till the Mighty Nein. And if you're so inclined and you're enjoying my conversations about Mighty Nein or Critical Role, give me a follow on social media. I'm always happy to talk Critical Role with more and more folks, because it is one of my favorite worlds in all of media.